high customer service standards. You are known for having those in a very good way. You and I spent time together on the TSIA advisory board of years ago, but today more than ever, and I can only imagine the conversations. I think you're still on the board. Is that right? At TSIA? The amount of change that's happening in our industry, and it's nonstop right now. I don't think you'll ever put a pin in it and say, hey, we're done changing, we've done our transformation, things like that. And you mentioned, some of the things in the earlier about how you're pulling this remote workforce together and really making sure that people are seen and heard. But now add the layers of change on top of that. What are you doing to help the employees stay heavily engaged, not just in their work, but through all of this change, through all of this transformation? Because if we're honest with each other, it can be heavy, it can be tiring, it can make you exhausted, right? Like you said. The industry we're in now is a lot different than it was 30 years ago. And yet in some ways, it's the same if you think about it, right? Yeah. We're still solving problems. Tell me about, the rate of change and what you're doing to help your team manage that.
I think what I try to do is I try to ensure there's enough capacity in the team in their day to create space. And that space is there for them to develop themselves, but also to allow them to be innovative and to create ideas. And then what I try to do is listen when they come up with ideas. And then even if the solution that they come up with is not perfect, there's still a problem they're trying to solve underneath that. So kind of trying to identify what that problem is and how prolific it is. So trying to just create the space for them to kind of do that work and do that thinking, that creative thinking. And then when you do take their ideas forward, is give them credit for them as well. It's kind of celebrate the individual. It's a real ick of mine for people who do not credit the originator, like then taking credit for someone else's work. And then that's allowing them to kind of come to you and like having a very open an open environment, an open culture to allow them to kind of feel like they can raise ideas or raise concerns with you directly, but then ask as well. It's kind of ask the question. And there's a technique that I kind of took away from my days at CA, which is I ask 4 questions if I'm in a one-to-one or a skip level or a round table or a town hall or a summit. And that is what's going well, what else is going well, what do you think we should do differently? And what else do you think we should do differently? So the first question is always you get the veneer answer. The second question they have to think about. They have to dig a little deeper. And you always get some really great ideas. So on a round table, I ask everybody, so come with your 2 what went well and your 2 do differently, and we're going to talk about it on the call. So they've got prep time. And again, and you gain a lot from them as well. And then celebrate the work. So when an idea is taken from idea to fruition and we can see the impact it's having, it's again going back and celebrating that and recognizing the people for it. And if you create that space and you create that culture where the group mindshare helps us move us forward, that's how we keep up. That's how we keep up with the change. Or even that's how we start kind of being part of the change itself. Actually, we're on the bleeding edge rather than playing catch up.
Yeah. I love the approach to the questions because you're right. It's easy to get the veneer answers, but when you can go that level deeper, you really find the truth and the morsels in those that are so important to all of us.
Yeah.
So one of the things, you and I grew up in an age where, we were told, right, be the CEO of your own career. You're responsible for your career. Look for mentors, look for, your own personal advisory board, things like that. What would you say to a support professional who's sitting here watching your path today, Julie? What should they do to empower their growth and thrive in their career?
Well, I think the first piece of advice I would give you is exactly what you just said, is that you're in charge of your career. Anybody who looks to their manager and thinks that their manager is responsible for their career development, it's a falsehood. So you're responsible for it. So the only person who's going to drive your career is you. But when I think about support engineers, particularly, or any support professional, because the rate of change it hits you in two ways. There's one is the technology itself. So the products are constantly evolving, the platforms are evolving, third parties evolving. And then the support industry evolves as well. So if I think about when I started, it was faxes and dumb terminals. Like it was me and a pile of error logs and a highlighter pen. That's how I'm dating myself really badly now. And then it went to email and servers, and then it went to portals and Zoom, and then it went to knowledge workers, and now we're in the Gen AI and ML era. So that changes at breakneck speed as well. And what we did yesterday is and what the customers expected from us yesterday is very different to what they expect from us tomorrow. So you always have to be, there's no such thing as standing still when you're in the technology industry, particularly in support. Things are constantly moving. So you have to, that constant focus on your own skill set is really important. Otherwise you get left behind. And I talk about, when I talk to my engineers, I talk about there's 3 pillars of skill that are required to be a really effective support professional. One is obviously your technology and what you're doing there and making sure that you're staying current and you're taking time to learn around the technology, whether that's your own technology that you're supporting or the third party. Then there's the communication skills, because that's what we do all day, every day, is we're communicating with customers. And we do things like, we've done things like DISC, which allows you to be self-reflective and kind of self-aware about what your style is and how your behavior manifests, but then understanding how other people, so when you're communicating, whether it's to your peers, to your manager, to your cross-functional team, but particularly to your customers, do the customers want all of the information and every single detail, or are they high level and they just want the headlines? Do they want like a page of words to read, or do they want visualization? Everyone's different. So understanding and trying to be able to develop the skill that allows you to do that well. And then how you deliver the service. Like, do they want a phone call? Do they want an email? Do they want a Zoom call? And again, the pace and who you're talking to. So the communication is really important. Your communication skills are really important, but also how you deliver the message is really important as well. So those 3 pillars is what we focus on as well. And we try and build our training programs around that. And then ask. So if there's an opportunity, there's something that you want to work on, ask, tell your manager or tell your team what you want to do and what you want to, and how you want to move on. One of the things that I try and do as the leader of the support organization is we celebrate when people move on, particularly internally, because someone's made a decision, right? So if they go work for our pre-sales organization or our professional services or go into engineering, we really celebrate them. It's a massive loss to us as a support organization, but we actually gain a lot because someone who's been in support and who sees what the customer's dealing with, having them go work in engineering is gold for us because they get that perspective in there, which is huge. So so we celebrate when people career, but we obviously celebrate promotions and things like that, but also internal mobility and when people move on and do something new.
Absolutely. I love the culture of positivity. I think that when it gets too busy and too heavy, people forget to be the positive force, right? Do the shout outs, do the Slack channel, congratulations. It's so important. And we have to continue to do that on the real. It just can't be something we think about. A lot of people, I was amazed, off topic, but on topic. Last week was National Customer Service Week. Mm-hmm. And I was amazed. We had our in-person conference, the number of people that didn't know it was Customer Service Week. And it was one of those moments where I had to sit back and say, okay, how can we change that more people do realize it's a week devoted to, celebrating. Because it was said that not only the support engineers, support professionals didn't know, but leaders didn't know. And it just wasn't something. So then, people were talking about seeing all the posts from other companies, but their company wasn't recognized. It's big. So Julie, your phrase, scar tissue, right? From being in the support industry. What do you do to refresh and recharge your battery when you're not taking care of customer situations or leading your team? Tell me what you do in your off time.
I'm very creative. So I paint, I watercolor badly, but I love the process. And I sing, I'm in a choir, and I crochet, which is probably a proper old lady habit, but I love it. But they're all very, very mindful things. They all kind of take you out of your own brain. So you have to really focus. And there's, especially when you're singing especially en masse, you release endorphins into your brain. The feel good hormones get released when you sing en masse, particularly in harmony. So it's really good for you. So I can walk into my rehearsal I go on a Thursday night. I can walk into a rehearsal on a Thursday night, be really stressed, situation at work or situation at home, and by the time I come out, I can't remember why I was stressed in the first place. So it's a kind of really powerful thing. So they're all very mindful. They all kind of require focus that stops me thinking about anything else. So it's a real mental break from the day to day. So that's what I do. They're my three days as well. But again, I try and keep things alive.
Did you crochet the blanket behind you, Julie? The beautiful white turquoise.
I did. That's one of mine. Yeah, that's on my sofa.
I love knitting. I love knitting. I can lose myself in knitting to the point where I can be addicted and stay up for hours and hours past my bedtime. And I love oils. I watercolor. Mine just looked like something that my child would have done, and it never got better. But I can do oils, so it's neat to know that.
Mine still look like something that my child would do, but I don't care. Just I like the process, so I just do like the process. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. I learned something new about you. I love the choir concept so much that you go in and you come out, forgetting why you went in stressed in the first place.
Yeah. So when we went to Madrid for our 2 summits, I was trying to figure out what to do as a kind of, the icebreaker and the team building to kind of kick us off and kind of get everybody warmed up for basically 3.5 days of really hard work. And I couldn't think, and you can do kind of escape rooms, or you can do like building towers with spaghetti and marshmallows and all that kind of, I've done it all over the years. And there's not many escape rooms you can do with 100 people. So when you've got 100 people in a room, you have to kind of start getting creative. So what I did, I brought my choir leader down. So I brought 2 of my choir leaders down, and they turned my team into a choir. So again, it kind of forces everybody into this really uncomfortable, like Julie's lost her mind. So again, it galvanized everybody thinking like she's insane. But and the first one in September, that was the surprise, because obviously nobody knew that this was going to happen. And I stood there and I was going, I've got this beautiful melodic choral piece for you, and I could see the color kind of draining from their faces. And I was like, I'm kidding. We're going to do it. We did Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine. So an immediate relief when they heard that it was actually a rock song that they were doing. But yeah, we spent 2.5 hours, and I turned them into a 2-piece harmony choir. And
Julie, that was amazing.
It was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. And we and there was people who had like abject fear right the way through to having the best time. We've got video, and we've got some of my engineers, like they're just loving life when they did this thing. But it releases all the tension, and they're all in it together, and they sounded really good. They produced a really good sound at the end of it. So we did Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine, and the second one we did Journey, Don't Stop Believing.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
So and it worked really well. And obviously I can't do it again, but it worked really well. So yeah, they all survived my choir.
It's a beautiful thing. I hope that idea came to you in the middle of the night, like some of the best ideas do, and you wake up out of a sound sleep like, I have the thought of how we're going to do this. But did you record it, and did the rest of the company get to see it, or have you kept it kind of in the walls?
It's in the walls. It's us. We shared it within the support team. I've shared it with a couple of the leaders on the SLT, but it hasn't gone broadly. But yeah, it was just for us.
That's awesome. I just heard a stat last week, speaking of music, that by and large, more men will play air guitar than you'll ever see women playing air guitar. That women are not wired to do air guitar. Not something I knew before.
Who knew? Who knew?
So, hey, last question, Julie, and then I'll let you get back to your job. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. What are you most excited about over the next 3 months? And you can't say the holidays. What's going on at Elastic or in your life that you're so excited about?
In addition to the holidays.
In addition to the holidays.
It's a really sad question. It's a really sad answer because of what we do, but it's like Gen AI. We're starting to really exploit Gen AI. So we've just launched our first like chat GPT-esque support assistant. And it's going really well and our customers are loving it. So we're already seeing kind of the impact of that. So we're only a month in. Early indicators are really exciting, and it's just the potential for that. And the kind of the use cases that we keep coming up with are amazing, like drafting knowledge and kind of just making life easier for my support engineers and kind of taking the pressure off them. So I'm very excited about that. And it's typical me, like I want it all now.
Yeah.
And I'm very impatient. So my innovation team are going to go, well, one step at a time, Julie. But I'm really excited about that. It's really geeking. It's really sad, but it's working really well, and our customers are really, really loving it. We're a Gen AI company as well, so our customers almost expect it from us. Sure. But I love it, the fact that we're dog fooding our own product, and I'm like you do the same with Support Logic. So we're dog fooding our own product, and we're learning, and anything to do with machine learning and Gen AI that helps deliver a heightened service to our customers and makes my engineers' jobs just easier and more efficient. So I'm excited about that. That's what I'm excited about. And we've got our Elasticon. So you just had your in-person. We're running our Elasticons over the next few months. So I'll be getting out to see some of our customers and again seeing some of the team as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then I've got TSIA next week. So I'll be in TSIA next week with some of my team there as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. I hope I can see you next week. I'll be there as well.
Yes, I'm sure we will. I'm sure there'll be a gin and tonic in our near future.
Look forward to that. Yeah, we left that off of the knitting and painting and choir. There may in fact.
Yeah, that also gets me through my week. Absolutely.
Yes, exactly. All right. Julie, thank you so very much. I really appreciated our time together today.
It's my pleasure. I always enjoy talking to you, Julie.
Thank you.